Welcome to the Fortunate Events Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Bennett, and this podcast explores how our education, careers, and life experiences intersect in unexpected ways. Today, I'm joined by Christy Huckaby. We met her when I was working for a custom home builder, so I know her through real estate, and now she's also the TV host of The American Dream, Selling Houston. So I'm super excited to have her. Christy has more than 25 years of experience in real estate and the professional world. She's built an incredible career across residential, commercial, luxury, and new home sales. She also started right out of college in new home sales. There's a funny story about that on my previous podcast with her, so you'll have to tune into that. And then she quickly earned recognition as a top sales associate across Greater Houston. She has so much experience, a huge following online. I'm just blessed and graced by her presence today. Christy, thank you so much for joining me. I'm just elated that you're here.
Jessica, I couldn't be more happy.
Well, I love this. And she's here in my apartment. So it's even more of a special treat because she's getting to see the real life Jessica.
I love it. This is great. I love every bit of it.
So we'll go ahead and dive in and get started. Although first, I do want to ask, do you have anything else to add to like your bio? I know I was reading kind of from a script, but did I cover it enough?
Well, I appreciate you say 25 years because then it's not really giving my age, but it's over 30 years.
Oh, over 30. So do the math if you want.
Yes, I'm an old girl. So that's what's going to make this fun is because I've been doing this for so long and I have found a way or had to find a way to stay relevant through it all, even through my age.
She says her age. She looks 25, so Christy's
baby.
Fabulous. When you see her pictures online, you'll know.
Thank you, baby.
You're so welcome. So let's dive into segment 1 in the last few years. Since the last time we talked on the podcast last fall, there's a lot that's happened, both in the market and in your life. How would you describe this current season for you?
This season is wow. It's never, you never know what's going to happen. Like I was raised with my mother always telling me, hold on to your titties. And so, because you never know what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. So we would be driving in the car and she'd say, she's going faster, taking a curve. And she'd say, hold on, girls, hold on to your titties. And so I take that as in my life now every day when I wake up, I have no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go this way and it goes the complete opposite, and you're just like, what the hell just happened? And so really over the last year, actually over the last 5 years, I have been on a roller coaster ride of life like no other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. You said 5 years, which dates us back to about 2020. What's been the biggest shift in your business over the last 5 years? We had COVID there right at the beginning of 2020, and even now COVID's kind of come back.
Yeah, well, COVID just gave me a different perspective on how to sell real estate and how to get around it and all of that. And then I was really getting good into social media, so it let me sit back and really delve into the creative part of me and get out of my comfort zone and start making these videos. And that's actually how it all started for me to get this following is my videos.
Oh.
So you have to set yourself apart. You have to be different. Mm-hmm. And so I did that and it just blew up. I did this whole thing where I'd say, you know what I would do if I lived here? And then I would just think of some shit that I do. Oh, I didn't mean to cuss.
No, we're going to cuss if you want. This is going to be a little bit of a PG-13 podcast.
So I'd pour me a nice glass of champagne and I'd sit out here on this veranda and just watch the sunset or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And so that just kind of caught on. And
that's
then
fun.
I just kept doing that and was consistent with it. And then that's where all of the following happened. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I was just selling real estate. I was just going for it. But that's not where my heart was. My heart has always been somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And the older I get, that over the last 5 years, I've just been I think God is pushing me to where my purpose is and where I'm supposed to be. I just didn't know it.
Do you remember what your first viral video was? Was it this one where you're on the patio drinking champagne?
I was selling a house that had an airplane hangar.
Oh, wow.
And an airplane runway in the backyard.
Wow.
And so they let me up into their airplane, and
Okay.
I sang, "Wanna fly like an eagle to the sea."
That's amazing.
And then I got up there and I said, you know what I would do if I was selling a home and had an airplane and an airplane hangar? I think I'd pour me a nice glass of Patron,
Oh,
and I'd take a shot for my nerves.
that sounds like a good plan. And obviously it resonated.
No, everybody's kind of like, it's kind of like, hold on to your
They're
titties.
like, oh,
What's
wait.
Christy going to do next? Like, that they just tuned in because I had to make that up. I had to make every house I had, I had to like think quick, like, what would I do?
Yeah.
And then I had one where there was a player piano, and I
Oh.
acted like, I said, you know what I would do if I lived here? I would pour me a nice glass of Dom Perignon, and I would play some Elton John for my guest. And it started playing an Elton John song.
Oh.
But it was a player piano, and
Uh-huh.
I had my fingers acting
That's
like I was
so
doing
fun.
it.
That's amazing. Do you know how to play the piano?
I do not. No.
But you fake it till you make it.
Yes,
so.
you do. Yes, you do.
Well, that is incredible. And I didn't know those stories from you. There's so much that I still need to learn about you. So we'll get there eventually. Well, that's so fun. And clearly you've made a name for yourself. You have a large following, and you're drawing in people, you're drawing in the right audiences. You've probably even made some sales from social, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
At least one,
Absolutely.
That means it's a success. Well, let's go to segment 2 to talk about the Closers Real Estate Group. How has the Closers grown or evolved since you launched it?
Well.
Oh, is that a silly question that I asked?
You know what I would do
What
if
would you
Christy
do?
was about to talk about her dream of having the Closers Real Estate? I'd pour a nice glass of wine and I'd sit back and just listen to the show.
Yeah.
No, I had a dream, and I wanted to have my own brokerage and grow it and be the CEO and do it my way and do it with love and honor and respect and teach these agents how to really sell real estate and make a difference in the
Right.
world. And it just didn't work out that way. So
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur is not easy. I opened myself up to what I would say opportunists that wanted what I had and didn't want to work for it. And I'm an empath, Jessica. I'm
Me
an
too,
empath.
girl.
Okay. And I can't take it. I believe people,
Yeah.
and I trust people. And especially when they cry and they tell me they want, to get out from under their parents' shadow and how we're going to do all these great things. And
Yes.
so I took a leap and made probably the biggest mistake of my life. And now I had to file a lawsuit. So I'm in like this stage of my life. I never thought I would be here, but I am. And I had to make a decision for right or wrong. And I made the decision to file the lawsuit.
Okay.
And so that's what I've been doing.
A lawsuit does not sound like a good
No.
time.
And in the midst of that, it was kind of like a virus that just came through all the people that I loved. And I've learned a
Yes.
lot about it, and I've lost a lot. And so I had to really sit down and decide what it is that I want to be doing, because it was not feeding my soul. Even before the lawsuit, it was really tough on me. And so I had to make that decision, and I just did. I went to the beach. I
remember seeing this. I'm like, I'm jealous.
I went to the beach by myself, no family, nothing. And I sat there for 5 full days, early in the morning, watching the sunset at night, alone with the water. Like, God, show me, tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. And I somehow got the answers. And so
Wow.
it was time to close it down.
Yeah. So you closed down the Closers.
Yeah, well, I still have it. I will always be the Closers.
Okay, because
Christy-
you're the closer.
I'm the closer, and I'm going to do it my way. I'm never
Okay.
going to not sell real estate.
Right.
But what I'm doing now is I'm pivoting with a purpose.
Okay.
So,
Ooh,
yes.
I'm going to title the episode that Pivoting with a Purpose. There's always something, a little nugget that comes from each episode. And I'm like, that's the title of this podcast.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And it's okay to pivot,
Yeah,
You
pivot is what friends do.
Well, sometimes you get into it and you're like, I will be embarrassed if I fail, or if somebody sees me not, start something and not be able to finish it. So I've realized that it's okay to pivot, because you got to run to joy. TikTok. I'm getting on up there.
Yeah.
And so I just have enough of good, viable years to find joy.
Yes. Well, I believe you'll be here for a while, because you just have so much to give the world, and you have purpose, like you said. And so sometimes you have to pivot, but I see great things for you. Even, the second I met you, I knew that you were special.
Thank
and
you,
I mean that in the very best way possible.
And I thought you were special too. I latched onto you as well. It's love.
Yeah, it was love. It was love. Good sees good in each other, I think. And we've both been through a number of crazy ordeals, unfortunately, every day.
And you're a younger version of me. And so I would just love to just be able to grab you and tell you all my lessons, and so to prevent you from having to go through them.
Well, I would definitely appreciate that, because I don't want to do any more hard lessons. I would like the lighter package. They say I don't want to be the strongest soldier this year. I'd like a time off.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, fall to my knees. How many more lessons do you want me to learn?
No
Good
more.
Lord, have mercy.
It's like, don't even ask that question. Be like, please, just some mercy is good for me. Well, that kind of segues into mentoring, because you're known for mentoring and coaching. What new lessons have you been teaching agents lately? Is there something that you've mentored, or do you have a mentee that you've been working with?
Well, I love the young, and that's really where my heart is. So I want to start coaching. Okay. And when I started the closers and having my own brokerage, that's really what I wanted to do, was to give back and have my life have meaning. And if I could just change one person's life, then, job well done. I always said, if I could have one person go tell my boys, the day I take my last breath, your mom changed my life. Aww. And so that is what I really want to do. And I was trying to do it within a brokerage. So Jessica, I'm working on my pivot, which is going to include coaching. But I'm going to coach and mentor across the world, not just in a little group of closers in Houston, Texas.
Because you have a global calling.
Yes.
I remember you bringing this up, and that ties into my surprise that I'm going to give you later, but I have to wait my turn. There's a new segment called Segment Surprise for this podcast. It was inspired by Story Built Homes. That was actually the first episode that I did the segment surprise. So we'll get there in a second. But I remember you specifically saying that you had a dream or a vision to do almost like a TED Talk type situation where you're on a stage and you're truly pouring into other people, but it's like the masses, and you just have further reach that way. So I remember you saying that. I will never forget it, and I see that for you.
I'm going to do it.
I see it for you.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to speak it into existence.
I'm speaking it over you.
So I'm working on my TED Talk.
Good.
And I would like to call it Hold On to Your Titties.
Okay. Well, I think that's perfect for you. I feel like it's a family affair.
It has so many ways. It's about the ride of life.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
That's the plan. It's going to happen.
It will happen. Absolutely. Well, let's move on to segment 3, talking about TV. You've been hosting the American Dream Selling Houston, which is super cool. What has that experience been like? Tell our listeners a little bit more about that.
Well, knowing the importance of keeping relevant and keeping yourself out there, I was approached for this, and what better way to get to stay relevant? And I've born and raised and grew up here in Houston, so it's a lot of lifestyle, but also with a real estate twist. And so it has really helped me. Actually, I'm having fun. At the end of the day, I just only want to do things that make me happy.
Just want to have fun. But yes, absolutely. That's the whole point, I think, is life is lifing a lot of times, and if you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's just, you're kind of putting yourself in a hole, to not be happy.
Yeah. And I've got so many ideas, and there's so many people that I need to meet, and I can't wait to meet them.
Yes.
And, it's not about just selling real estate for me. I'm beyond that.
Yeah.
It's about relationships and learning and growing and laughing and having a good time. So believe it or not, I don't really like to be on camera.
I was going to ask you, you're reading my mind. I was going to ask if you see more TV opportunities in your future.
Well, who knows? I've had a lot of people reach out to me.
Okay. I could see an HGTV type situation for you.
Which is funny. It's funny. But, when I'm my true, authentic self, because, when we're on social media, everybody doesn't really get to see who you really are.
Yes, they see the highlight reel.
And so when I can get to that point of being my true, authentic self, that's where I'm going to find joy. That's where it's going to be real. I will be able to actually tell my story. You know, right now, because of my situation with the lawsuit, I'm being muted.
Yes.
And so I don't really like to be muted, because at this point, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You're
ready to tell your story.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so freeing. And I believe that when I'm able to tell my story, it's just another way to help people.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, we all want to go climb in the bed. You know, we get kicked in the stomach, we wake up, something. I mean, it could be like, I wake up and I'm so happy, and then I get a phone call, pow, and then it's just like, oh my God, I just want to go lay down in the bed, you know?
I'm that way. I go through some depression.
Yeah.
And I love to lay in the bed. I haven't been able to do that in a while, but my instinct is to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
you go lay down,
turn off whatever, shut the world out, go to sleep for a while. But, you know, I found that working through it is where you start to really heal. And that's not as easy to do when you're sleeping.
Well, you know, you can sit on TikTok and watch everything that there is, and listen to all the motivational things. But what's going to change you is get your butt up.
Yes.
And go look at yourself in the mirror and say, Jessica, you are a bad bitch.
I think you are, Christy.
I think you just forgot who the hell you are.
I think that's very true.
And Christy forgets who she is.
Yeah.
Trust and believe. You know, I preach this, and I'm like, I need to practice what I preach, because I'm not human. I'm just like what I want for everybody else.
Yes.
But sometimes I'm just not that way for myself, because it's just,
you have high expectations of yourself. I think sometimes you forget who you are because people are speaking the opposite over you, and there's a reason they're doing that. I think, you know, it's easy to listen and kind of buy into the negative comments and negativity that's, you know, around you, especially in a time like right now where you're going through this lawsuit and you know, your business has been at stake. And so that can weigh on you, but you know, you are strong. And the fact that you're still here, you're still hustling with the Huckaby hustle, you know, you're just unstoppable. And this is just a little hiccup, you know?
It's my theme song. Ain't no stopping me now. I'm on the move. Ow!
I love it. Have you recorded this? Or
No.
Is that we did just now?
No.
We just now did. It's on now, it's recorded forever. I love it. I want to go back to the American Dream really quickly, because I just want to highlight, if we can, you've worked with a few builders. I know recently you covered one in Garden Oaks. Is that right? Or
Yes. So
do you want to talk about them?
Yeah. So Miguel Facundo, he actually changed the landscape of Garden Oaks. Garden Oaks is right, you know, it's not far from the gallery. It's a great location.
Close to here.
My husband actually grew up there.
Oh.
And when I first went there, when I first met him, I'm like, oh God, am I going to get murdered here? I didn't know that it was going to end up being what it is. And all these little 2-bedroom homes.
It's a quaint little area.
Oh, what I learned from Miguel, because he grew up there. He grew up with my husband.
Really?
And what I learned from him is it was kind of a joke. He's like, when I started to sell a $400,000 home, they're like, you can't do this. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
Watch me.
$700,000 home, and it's never going to happen. And now the average price over there is like $2.5 million.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
And so and he was able to keep the production builders out. So it's very, very, very sexy, unique, wonderful place.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the, you know, eclectic feeling of it. You know, I actually looked at renting there before I moved here.
Yeah, and then he built a restaurant called Beau Soleil.
I need to try this place.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I mean, delicious drinks.
Now
The
I'm
chef's
hungry.
amazing. It's like a French American. The chef is from New Orleans and Louisiana.
So he knows what he's doing.
Good food. Good.
I love it. Well, that's great. I can't wait to follow along and, you know, see who else you bring on the show. So between the show and just your large social presence, have you found that visibility has opened new doors or even changed the way that clients connect with you?
Yes, very much so. Because when I look at myself, I'm just Christy, okay? I don't think of myself as anything else. But then now I'm just getting bombarded with opportunities for collaborations, and, you know, we want you to, you know, represent our product. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is hilarious to me. And so.
But you are, you know, you have a presence. You have a presence, and that is a gift.
Oh, I had a modeling agency, Jessica, and I'm like, Do y'all
Yes.
realize that I'm 56 years old? You want me to go model?
Yes. I hope you said yes. I hope you're looking into that.
I haven't said yes yet.
Wow. Well, that would be an incredible opportunity because, they need models at every stage of life,
Yeah.
and you have lots of life to live. So you could be model for the rest of your life.
Well, I was raised by a hairdresser. I was raised in a beauty
That's
shop.
right. That's right.
And
That's so funny.
You have to look a certain way to be loved.
And her hair is always fabulous. I was not raised in a beauty shop, so I don't even know how to curl my hair, but I'll learn from maybe you one day. Oh, that's so funny. Well, awesome. Let's move on to segment 4, which talks about personal growth and balance. So you are clearly a joyful person, full of energy, bubbly, you kind of captivate an audience. What practices or routines do you find yourself doing to keep you grounded just when things maybe, because all the fame or whatever around you, how do you ground yourself?
Nature.
I
Nature
like that.
is Christy's way. And I have a golf cart. And I like to get on my golf cart and go out into the golf course and take my shoes off.
Nice.
And of course, there's no golfers at the time. Maybe mix me a cocktail, go out there, listen to my music, and walk on the grass.
Yes,
Or-
touch grass,
yes,
they say.
Yes, earthing or whatever they call it. Are you going to
Okay.
go do some grounding or earthing or whatever?
Yep.
But that does recharge me, and the beach. But it's like I said before. I'm just a human, and I struggle, and so to get myself going, it's when there's challenges. It's been
Yeah.
tough. And so I'm really looking forward to my next chapter.
Yeah.
I feel like there is a shift. There is a pivot that's happening.
Mhm.
Who knows what I'm going to do? Who knows what it is?
Because the sky is the limit, right?
It actually is.
Yeah.
If I let it,
Exactly.
if I just say, okay, get your butt out of the bed, Christy, and go
Yeah.
remember who the hell you are.
Mhm.
And so that's it. I mean, I'm an empty nester now, and that's been weird.
Yes.
And so now I have all this time
Yeah.
to work on Christy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was telling you before we hit record, I'm also an empty nester, which is weird because I'm only 38.
That
But-
is weird, baby.
Well, I would love for that to change at some point. Like, I'm open to finding a new partner and maybe even having more kids one day.
I had my youngest at 38.
So I better get on it.
Yes.
But I'm very intentional with that. Like, I'm not out here dating because it grosses me out. Like, I would prefer to sit here and let my Prince Charming come find me, but I know that's not the way that works. But if you're listening,
Okay, well, we'll start a show.
we could. We could do a dating at 38. But I had Branson, we talked about this. I had my son when I was 19, and he was my most fortunate event because that was a very scary time, and I knew I was meant to raise him. And when I got pregnant, people were telling me to do different things, like have an abortion or give him up for adoption, and I knew I was meant to raise that boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful for him, and I love him more than he'll ever know, but he is my most fortunate event. So on that topic, what has been a defining moment in your life that is a fortunate event that maybe started as an unfortunate event?
I think, well, there's so many.
I know, so many.
But, let's just talk about what's happened in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Every single setback, every single gut punch,
Mhm.
every time I was shocked and like, what in the hell just happened here?
Yeah.
My plans got derailed. My heart got derailed. All of those things were actually blessings,
Mhm.
including what I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find that. It's hard to say that out loud.
I know.
Because there is a reason. I believe in God, and I believe that
Amen.
I believe He takes people out of your life
That's right.
that aren't supposed to be there. I think He takes situations away from you, even when it's very painful, because you have a bigger purpose. You're going a different way, but you don't know it. That's the whole thing, is you don't know why it's happening when it's happening.
Right.
And if you just sit back and take that breath and are in tune to the taps and
Yeah, the nudges,
Mhm.
maybe.
I love to ignore nudges.
Yeah.
I've ignored those nudges so many times in my life. It cost me so much money
Oh,
because I just wanted to
no.
believe that people were great and that they loved me like I loved them. But
Yes.
that's just not how it is. And
Unfortunately. Yeah.
so the fortunate, weirdly, my most fortunate event is just getting gut punched left, right, and center over the
Yeah.
last 5 years, because I know that I'm meant for something wonderful, and
Yes.
I'm being led there.
Absolutely. Well, that's an excellent response. I couldn't have scripted it better. So in that same sense, what does success mean to you now? Or what does it look like compared to maybe 5 or 10 years ago?
It's not money.
Okay, that's a nugget of gold right there, you know?
It's not money. I thought that if you had a certain amount of money, then I made it. It's just...
It's not the title either. That was kind of my thing, you know, and that's not true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I see the world differently. What is success to me is I love the way my boys love their mama.
Yes, such a gift.
And, you know, if I just only focused on the 3 amazing boys that I was able to raise and the respect and the love and the care and the kindness that they have for their mama, that's success. I could go live in a hole as long as I have my boys.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So I was mentioning before, and some of the listeners have heard about my experience with my son and his educational journey. It was a journey is the right word for it. I jokingly said, and it felt like it at some points, but I jokingly said, I'll go live under a bridge if I have to make sure he goes to the right school. And I damn near almost did.
Yeah.
I ended up, luckily, you know, my parents let me move in with them, and they would let me stay there forever. But sorry, Mom and Dad, that's not happening.
Oh, of course, they want to steal him.
Well, they want me to stay there forever too. But it's just because they love me, and I know they're trying to safeguard me and all that. But, you know, one of my other defining moments was him graduating and walking across that stage with his high school diploma. Because at times it seemed like that would never happen because he thinks differently, you know, and the world is not made for students who don't fit that cookie cutter, you know, sit in the chair, be quiet type of MO. And my son is not like that. He's very respectful, but he has a hard time sitting in one spot, you know?
But Jessica, if you weren't his mama, that might not have ever happened too. Like if you weren't his mama, that was your...
That was my calling. He truly was, you know, assigned to me. Like I do believe that, and someone said that recently. I appreciate you saying that because I do feel like, you know, I was meant to raise him, and that's for a reason. He needed me as his mom, and I needed him just as much as my child. So I love that that's your kind of success. You know, your measure for success is how you've raised your children, because it shows everything. It shows, you know, not just what kind of parent you are, but what kind of heart you have and like your soul. And now it's out there walking around outside your body.
Yeah, and my youngest, he's at Auburn, and I just told him today, I said, Ryder Huckaby, you are not Ryder Rockefeller, you are Ryder Huckaby.
Yes.
Do you understand that? So no, you cannot have $1,000 a month townhome. Okay,
you gotta keep them grounded sometimes, you know. That's so funny. Well, that leads us to our almost last segment, the segment surprise. And before we wrap up, I've started to add this feature called Segment Surprise. It was first introduced on my episode with Story Built Homes, who you've met.
I can't wait to see them again.
They're awesome. And it was inspired by Travis and Jason Kelsey's new news segment on their New Heights podcast. It's a fun way to close things out, and I'm excited to keep it going with you, Christy.
Oh, Lord.
So
I'm gonna hold on to my titties. I don't know what's about to happen.
I think you'll like it. There's a couple things I'm gonna do. So you may remember last fall, we actually joked about me creating a jingle for you. And you gave us your jingle, but I'm going to give you a little version too.
Okay.
So today we're bringing it to life, and it's based on the Huckaby Hustle. So it goes, it's the Huckaby Hustle, never lost in the bustle, rising strong with every tussle. Huckaby Hustle. Boom.
I love it.
So we could play around with some words, but I feel like hustle, bustle, tussle, like, you know, even though you go through all these moments where you're having to fight for your life and hold on to your titties, you come out strong on the other side.
But the fact that you thought about me like that and said that and came up with those words, thank you. That's
You're
so
welcome.
sweet. I love it.
I love it. I thought it was fun. And then I have a present for you.
Well, geez, this is the best day ever. I get a song and a gift.
It's not wrapped pretty because I was trying to be incognito here. But if you want to open that, there's a couple things inside.
Okay, there's a jingle.
The first thing that you're going to see is probably a gold item. And it's two hands that make the heart shape.
Oh my gosh.
Not the new version. It's the millennial version of how you do a heart with your hands.
Yes.
To remind you that you're always loved and you're chosen and you are just such a beautiful person. And even if you forget momentarily how wonderful you are, maybe you put that on your desk and you'll remember that you're loved.
Jessica, this isn't by accident. Like one of my really good friends, his name's Adam. This is what he does all the time, and it melts my heart. He's all up. This is what he does all the time. Now I have my own. I love that.
I saw that on Amazon. Shout out to Amazon. I thought it was so cute. So, and the next thing is a mini a mini microphone. I'm not sure if you have one. I know you have a big size microphone.
Is this a real microphone?
It's a real microphone. It plugs into a laptop though. You can plug it into your phone if you get a converter, which is like $5 on Amazon. But it's a mini microphone to remind you that you are meant for great things, which I know that you know this, but I'm going to speak it over you. You're meant for great things. And one day you're going to have a microphone. Maybe it's pink, maybe it's not, maybe it's miniature, maybe it's large, but you're going to be speaking on stages around the world, Christy. And I believe that. I believe you.
Thank
I believe in you
so much.
You're welcome.
That means so much to me.
Yes. Well, I hope it does. And I truly mean what I'm saying. And I'm so grateful that you're here, that you drove out here to do the podcast. I know you have a lot going on. I know you've been through a lot and it just means a lot to me. And I know you're meant for wonderful things.
Well, if I could get up right now, when this is over, I'm going to get up and kiss your whole face.
Oh, okay. I'll let you do that. So really, this brings us to our last question. Is there anything new that you'd like to share that you haven't yet, that you want to share with our listeners before we close?
Well, I am working on my own podcast.
Okay, watch out.
So that is in the works. I've never done a podcast before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
like
with me,
I've never
you've
just
done one.
like
But you never hosted one before?
Never.
Yeah.
And I think I think I will heal through this podcast, but I think I will help the masses through this podcast.
1,000%.
It's about the ride of life. My mom's got dementia. I'm a caregiver.
Yeah.
I'm an empty nester. Good Lord have mercy. I'm going through this lawsuit. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business. I mean,
so many hats that you're wearing.
Woo! I'm exhausted. So let's just put on a podcast on my list.
So let's talk about it. Let's do it because I do think it'll be helpful for you. I didn't even realize the potential that this podcast had when I started it. It started as a course that I was taking for school, and it grew into a graduate project to graduate with my master's, and I can see it continuing past that. I can see this going for several years. I just need some sponsors for anyone listening. I'm looking for sponsors for next season. But no, there's so much potential with the podcast, and it gives you the platform to be your real, genuine self. And if you don't like what you said, you can always go back and delete part of it,
You can?
You can. You're not glued to this stream, although you're able to just stream in like a stream of consciousness. You're just kind of talking and letting it flow, but you also can go back and edit it, which is always really nice.
Yeah.
So, well, Christy, that kind of wraps us up today. Thank you again for being here and sharing your journey. You are inspiring. Your story is inspiring, and I know our listeners will take so much away from this conversation. So with that, I'm going to close this out. But until next time, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.